So last week, I had a conversation with a weightlifter that he's 40 years old, and I'm in my gym, right? It's a CrossFit and weightlifting gym. There's a lot of, weightlifting athletes, as you can see up here, that, we've made national level, international level. We even had a world champion, youth world champion, the youngest one in history. And so there's a lot of level here, but there's also a lot of masters. And so a lot of my content ideas come from me talking to a lot of weightlifters in here. And so I was talking to him right before, a big session that I had. We were talking about the Olympics and all of those things. And then he started talking to me about his current weightlifting situation, right? And he was like, oh, I'm getting back into lifting, whatever. And then he told me dude, everyone at my job, everyone in my household, they're all like, bro, you're super strong, you're a weightlifter, you're super good, whatever. But I don't feel like that. I have the imposter syndrome. I'm like, dude, I see you guys and I see people online and I'm like, dude, I'm so weak. There's people snatching my back squat, whatever. Then I'm like, look, let's pause for a second. How old are you? Then he's like 40 years old. How many kids do you have? 2, right? And then I'm like, and you've got a full-time job, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, what are your weightlifting numbers right now? He's like, oh, I snatched I think he told me 90 kilos. I clean and jerk 120. I back squat 190. I'm like, so you're a 40 years old with 2 kids and a full-time job and you back squat 190 kilos at freaking 40 years old? That is freaking insane. That's the equivalent of me back squatting 300 kilos, man. And he looked at me then I'm like, dude, all the guys that you see online, they started lifting at 5, 6, 10, 11, 12 years old. At what age did you start lifting? He was like, oh, I started at 33 years old. I'm like, bro, it's fucking crazy that you squat 190 kilos, right? Especially because all the guys you're comparing yourself to, they're younger than you, they're subventioned by the government, they pay their rent, they pay their food, and they pay their training, right? Does someone pay your rent, or is it you that needs to work every single week, working your ass off in your job, and that's how you pay your rent and your food? Does someone pay for your rent and food? And he's like, no one. And then I'm like, see, dude, you're freaking good at lifting. You're probably very, very close to the level of the best lifters in the world for your age and body weight. So here's what I want you to do, man. Okay, I want you to shut down your Instagram and go on Safari. You're gonna look up the Master Weightlifting Federation, and I want you to look up how much the guys your age and your body weight are currently lifting, and I want you to prepare yourself to become the best master weightlifter in the world for your age and body weight. That's the people you need to compare yourself to. Not to anyone online, not to any world champions or Olympic champions from these random countries. I want you to compare to people that are living in the same circumstances as you, that are the same age, right? Around your same age, 35, 45 years old, and that are approximately the same body weight as you. Those are the people I want you to compare yourself from now on. Okay? And then the dude was super happy. He looked up, all the totals and all the things. He was super excited to restart training. And, most people say that comparison is the thief of all joy. I completely disagree with this. Okay? This is not the message I'm trying to give. Comparison with a lack of context is the thief of all joy. Because if I go ahead and I compare myself to, some lifter from Kazakhstan who started at the age of 5 years old, and they pay for his rent, they pay for his food, they pay for his training, they pay for his training camp, they pay for absolutely everything. He doesn't have a business like me, he doesn't have employees to deal with, he doesn't have any bills, and I go ahead and I compare myself to him. Well, for sure he's gonna lift more than me, he's in better conditions, right? I'm not gonna come here and try and compare myself to him, right? But if I have someone, for example, I'm gonna give you guys an example. Caden Kahoy, he's the best weightlifter in America in my opinion. Dude has a full-time job. Dude has a good car that he needs to pay, a house that he needs to pay. He has a girlfriend, a bunch of bills to pay, all of those things. I can compare myself to him, right? Because he's around the same age as me. He's 3 or 4 years older, right? He has the same circumstances as me, or very similar ones. He has a full-time job, I have a business. So I can compare myself to him because we're in similar circumstances, right? So when I see him clean and jerk 205 kilos, I don't get stressed about that. I get inspired. I'm like, wow, if this dude in the similar conditions that I am, is already, clean and jerking that weight, like I can do it too if I train smart and I train hard, right? And I recover and I'm smart with my time management, right? And for him, it's probably the same thing with my snatch, right? He might see me snatch 160, 165 and be like, oh wow, like this is inspiring, right? And so you need to compare yourself to people that are in similar circumstances as you, not with people from, the other side of the world who started in an extremely young age or any of those things, because it's just useless. So comparison, once again, is not the thief of all joy. Comparison with a lack of context is the thief of all joy, right? You cannot compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 20, right? It's like, for example, if in business right now I start comparing myself to Elon Musk, right? Dude is 50 or 55 years old or 45. He works 18, 20-hour days. He's making millions of dollars per day. Obviously, if I start comparing myself to him, it's gonna steal all of my joy, all of the excitement that I have for business, right? But if I start comparing myself to my, let's say, business revenue 6 months ago, I'm gonna be motivated to beat it, right? Or if I compare myself to one of my friends and we started business at the same time and we're truly, having a healthy competition, that's going to motivate me, right? Because it's pretty much a very similar context and a very similar situation that we're both in, right? So it is extremely important. Compare yourself, absolutely, but not to anyone. Compare yourself to people in a similar situation. That is what's going to take you to the next level as a weightlifter. Now, if you want to add 20 to 50 kilos to your total without sacrificing your lifestyle like I did, I went from 145 and 167 kilo clean and jerk to 161 kilo snatch and 185 kilo clean and jerk. If you want to have similar results, just click the link down below and book a one-on-one qualification call with me where I'll see if you're a good fit for my team, or you can just go ahead and DM me on my Instagram, Ibanez Weightlifting, and once again, I'll see if you're a good fit for my team. See you guys on the next one, and thank you so much for the support on this channel. God bless.